Hi, I'm Jeff Banks, and welcome to Retail Insight here at the Spring Fair. I'm delighted that I've got with me Evan Lewis, who's actually from Vent for Change. So first of all, Evan, what do you actually do? What is Vent for Change?
Vent for Change is it's a sustainable stationery brand that also supports children's education projects around the world. So to unpack that, we produce notebooks, pencils, pens, all from recycled, reclaimed and sustainable materials. And we give a percentage of our turnover to supporting children's education projects all around the world. So we are both sustainable and socially led.
And what inspired you to actually commit your life to that, or part of your life?
Part of it, well, no, it's a big chunk of my life. Vent for Change is a retail brand that we've put together since 2019, but I've actually been an environmental entrepreneur since 1999. When I helped someone set up an environmental wholesale business, I then set up my own in 2005, selling branded merchandise, organic, fair trade, recycled, sustainable products to businesses with their names and campaign messages on them. And in 2014, I bought an old, I say factory, it was a production line that could turn recycled plastic into pencils. And that was to service that sector, that industry that I was already operating in. And so I thought to myself, well, what can I do with this spare capacity of recycled pencils? And they're the most iconic educational tool going back centuries. And so I started ringing small charities, NGOs, international ones, local ones. And I said, look, I've got this capacity of pencils. You can have them, literally. I'm going to gift them to you. And they thought it was a wonderful idea. But in truth, it transpired really what they needed was money. They didn't need pencils. Yeah. In Nepal and in the Philippines, you can buy pencils pretty cheap, even though I was offering to give them away. They're saying, we really need cash. We don't mean to be disingenuous, but we need to put roofs on buildings and blackboards and sanitation in place and pay for teachers. So that sort of set me back. What can I do? Well, then I thought, well, let's sell those pencils and give the proceeds to these organizations, these charities. And that's kind of where it kicked off. So I thought, well, rather than just selling a 10p pencil, let's make some sustainable notebooks out of some intriguing materials that have got a bit more value. Let's create a brand. Let's create a story. Let's educate people in the high street that are just shopping for a notebook or a gift. There are these issues with kids getting to school, millions of children getting to school around the world. So then we looked at, the resources that I had from my other business, who could produce stuff for me in a sustainable way. And so we started producing notebooks under the Vent brand that accompanied the pencils. And we made pens as well from recycled plastic bottles. And we've got notebooks from leather and lavender and coffee and cotton and wool. And take that to the high street and make it visible and get people on board. So that's how Vent was.
And how successful has that been getting with major retailers?
Well, we launched in 2019. And of course, we went to exhibitions like the Spring Fair and we got a fantastic reaction. We're really determined to make a beautiful product that sold at the right price so that people would buy it irrespective of all the benefits that it comes with. And we've been very successful with that. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention brand names who we're with. Yeah, we sell through John Lewis, we sell through Waterstones, we sell through hundreds of small independent gift-led retailers. And they're really our market because we love to meet our retailers at shows like the Spring Fair, where we can impart some of the story about Vent for Change, tell them what we stand for, tell them what we do. Because they then take that into the shop environment when a consumer comes in, when a customer comes in and says, what's this new notebook about? They become our ambassadors at that point. And so by meeting them at shows, so it's fundamentally important it's part of our story.
Thank you.